Okay, so we are starting the main event 96. 96. That means come January 31st will be our 100th event. And we are going to make a big party out of that. I'm starting to promote it this week and really want to invite people that have been on the program with us over the past year and before. We had Sandu did something interesting 10 months ago when they celebrated the first year of the main event, and he put together a video with all the different announcement pages for all the different events, starting with number one. And I was thinking about doing that as well. I'm hoping he can provide me with that file because I've gathered all the rest of them from 54 on. And just because I don't want to have some blanks, I'm working on 97, 98, and 99 so that we've got a
All covered.
complete thing. Uh, and complete with the 1812 overture in the background. Meg has joined us. That's great. Sandu, why don't you give us a little introduction and then we'll move on.
Yeah, awesome. Of course, it's 2025 now, so happy holidays, happy New Year to everyone. Super cool stuff. Um, Glad to see your faces again. Regarding the LinkedIn event, as you probably noticed, LinkedIn doesn't let us do audio events moving forward, which is I'm not sure if it's good or bad, but I found it more easily when they are audio, at least for the setup part. But it's fine to have it as a video because with the video comes some advantages. We can share the screen, so obviously we can see ourselves, and ton of news right at the beginning of the year. Ton of interesting updates from different platforms, as everybody probably noticed it. I do expect a lot of 3D in 2025. Maybe we can touch on that resolution as well. What you expect for this year? I know it's going to be an awesome year. Everybody knows that. And our invite today is also James. I know James have super cool events and the kind of was kind to share with some of us, which are here as well, some of our experience, how I started, how we use it, what programs we really love with AI, and how you can improve yourselves. There are super cool discussions. I hope, James, you're going to share more insights on that side. It's super cool. People likes to use AI. It's super cool. It's part of the cutting edge of development and technology, whatever humans can do. And beyond that, I'm almost sure it's all positive. I always said the AI is really positive. It creates this community. I think is super cool. And, I like to share my experience on my side all the time and looking forward for more collaborations. 2024 was super cool. We did a lot of collaborations, even books and stuff like that. I think it's super nice. But right now we can share the entire world. That's what I kind of expect in 2025. I know it's going to be a ton of videos. We all know that, toward the end of 2024, a lot of platforms, they really improved so much. Even Sora was released. Surprise, surprise. But this year, 2025, as I said, I do expect considering the trend, basically exponentially AI being developed, I do expect people to start actually creating 3D worlds, creating 3D environments where actually you can immerse yourself in, or with augmented reality, maybe can be shared. So that is kind of what I see in 2025. I kind of expect that, but I like to know your expectation for 2025. I think is really cool to talk about that, and obviously share your experience and what you think is super cool about the AI. So that will be my quick intro. Big Al.
All right. Well, I started off 2025 with a bang, not only with my anniversary of my company being 31 years old, but I turned 81 yesterday. And
Oh, happy New Year.
so
Congratulations, happy.
Happy
No.
thank you.
birthday.
Thank you. Yes,
Absolutely.
whenever people say, well, you don't look like you're 81, I say, well, that's because I'm very immature for my age. Uh, but the news you were talking about 3D, we put some posts in our comment section of the event, as we always do with some news that we want to make sure that you got to see. There's a post by Christopher Ciccarello that he is collaborating with Duncan Young on AI 3D. Um, Dr. Irina Raska, I guess it is,
Right.
had a thing about LTX Studio having face expression feature. Um, I posted something about ArtSpace AI, which is kind of interesting what they're doing. They have flux imaging, and they have many of the features that Midjourney has in terms of extending backgrounds or adding things, making adjustments, and all that kind of thing. But what they're doing is they are having you pay once forever. And right now, there's a discount at you pay $57 and you will be able to use the program forever. Well, having worked in this business as long as I have, I can tell you that when you have a company like that, such as ZBrush, that I was able to use because I was an early user of ZBrush, and it was always free for me until they sold the company. And once they sold the company, the new people started charging for it. So forever is a limited term. Um, and then Sandy, you posted about Midjourney finally introducing sketch to image feature. So that's pretty much the news right now because we had so much news the end of the year and with everybody trying to get stuff in before the end of the year. So um, we invited James to join us today because it just struck me that James is doing so much and is involved in so many different ways. And one of the things he does is he's got his own program that he interviews people. And, I just thought, gee, it'd be kind of fun to interview the interviewer. So, James, I guess we ought to start by asking you to give us some of your background and what led you into the life of AI.
Well, so my background's marketing, photography, videography, web design, bit of coding now. Throughout my life, I think Photoshop was the first thing I learned when I was 17. I learned that before. No, I was much younger than that. I think about 14, 15. And I learned Photoshop before anything else because I was into graphic design, and so the rest is history. So I found image gen when GANs were a thing, and I was really like, wow, I've never seen images made like that before. And then I kept looking at the scene, and then I found out there was image generators from text, and so I installed some of the free ones, and then eventually got Midjourney, and I was just so blown away that um, I just kept using it probably weekly since probably version 2 of Midjourney. Yeah. So I've got some examples. I can show you some stuff that I've been doing recently, but I haven't done screen share on here for a while. So give me a second and I'll get a screen up. Yeah, I think I got it. Can you still see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So basically, what these images are, these are like some mood boards that I've made to recreate like the same effect. So it's all taken from my best work of 2024, because I think 2024 was a good year because we had some really good like models for Mid-Journey. There's none of this it doesn't look real kind of sort of thing. Now it looks, very, very realistic, and unless it's like artistic like this, you can't tell now. So yeah, I did loads of these during I think the summer, I think just before my first image competition. But I think this style was in there. So people may have seen similar work on LinkedIn, although I don't always share everything. A lot of my stuff goes unposted because it's just so much time to post everything that you make in Mid-Journey. Yeah, while we go through these, I was on a call with LipDub today, and I think it was Andrew Moore was showing me the capabilities, and it's really, really good. Like, I think they've updated LipDub just recently, and the lip syncing is it's so good now. He was telling me of a technique where if you create your video in like Kling or Runway and the mouth is moving, they just need 30 seconds of the same character with the mouth moving, and that's enough for you to then do lip syncing and even type in what you want the person to say. Yeah, so
That's
over
amazing.
20, yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Just going back to these images. So over 2024, I experimented with image prompting heavily, as well as text prompts, and obviously all the sref codes and all that sort of stuff that you can get. So a lot of these mood boards are really complicated. There's lots of different images, and then there's a complicated prompt, and not like simple prompts like female model to make what you're seeing here. And then so all of that combines into making these mood boards. So this is like probably one of the best features of Mid-Journey for a while, and I don't think it's just like image prompting. I think there's more to the mood boards. Like, it's a different algorithm, because the work that I'm doing when I use a mood board system just comes out so much more creative and like versatile. Yeah, what's everyone else's experience of mood boards? Has anyone else been using them?
Well,
Yes.
there are a few things, at least, to highlight. I mean, you call it mood boards, but to me, it's an extension. Depends what you want to do, because from the mood boards, you probably want to do a movie, you want to do something else, So those become the keyframes. Last year, Midjourney launched the Patchwork, which is actually a mood board by itself. So basically, you create a story. I'm almost sure they will develop that in a movie. So basically, it's the infrastructure for the story which you want to convert that in a movie. At least that is what I can feel about it. Otherwise, why they will come with their product, right? So
yeah, I agree. That's got to be where they're heading.
Right. So, which I think is actually the right direction, because the first, let's say, approach for the AI video, it was like, oh, we need controls. All of us, we said, hey, we need controls. So, I want to create something which I have in mind. And the first thing which appeared, it was like the first keyframe, the first image, like in Loma, the last image in Loma. That's how they started. Runway kind of did the next step, and they came with the brushes, basically, and you can highlight and say, hey, go in that direction, go in that. Kling did the same thing, basically, but it was the next level of controls, kind of decompose that image, the board which James is talking about, and give attributes to the elements.
Yeah, I think so. Just while we're on the subject of Kling, a lot of those images that you just saw, I converted them to videos. And
right.
I thought Kling handled the abstract nature of the videos a lot better than Runway does at the moment. Yeah, 1.6.
Yes,
but
you've got to have
it. You've got to have it on the best settings though as well. So there's like two settings. I think there's standard and professional. And if you put it on professional, like, keeps the colors that are in the original image, and yeah, really beautiful.
But you know what I noticed with Luma, for example, I'm using the free version. So I always think Luma was very creative. That means you put an image and it's coming with something interesting. And prompting to make a prompt for video, to me, is completely different animal to make a prompt to get an image in Midjourney. Two different things, actually. My prompts on video ends up being very simplistic, basic, no more than, I don't know, 20, 30 words. In Midjourney, I'm making more complex. I'm using the rules, define the subject, define the background, define the color, the artistic representation, the lighting, like I'm focused on far more elements when I'm doing an image. But when I'm going to the videos, I'm trying to say, well, the image is already there. I don't need to focus on that. I probably focus on the camera, on the mood, the movements, what the character needs to do. And always I realize, like Luma, it starts nice but ends up kind of bad. It's taking the artistic part and becomes an engineering. It becomes
Are you
abstract.
talking about distortions, or what are you
Yeah,
thinking?
not necessarily that it is distortion, but not in the distortion of the elements. Is becoming simplistic. It's becoming like you have an artistic image and becomes an engineering sketch or drawing, schematics, pure functions. I want this. So that is what I think. It's interesting if you analyze it, but I'm not sure if it's good if you want to do a movie, because when you want a movie, another dynamic and another dimension pop up here. It's not only 3D with the third dimension, or but it's like how you control the cameras, the angles of the cameras, all the artistic part of the movies, which I'm almost sure somebody's going to touch on that too. And that is the approach from Midjourney seems to be different, because they want to have the infrastructure. They want to understand what you actually want to do. And that's the reason you do this storyboard. And based on, let's say, analysis of very famous movies, for example, they know how long should be a shot, what angle, and they can do those transitions to you, but still maintaining the character, still maintaining the environment, still maintaining the key action, maybe creating suspense or whatever emotion you want to transmit to the viewer. So that is what I think we are right now. But 2025, I think, is going to be more than that. All those tricks from the Hollywood, I think VFX effects and all that, those could be easily converted. We know we are there, but the sense how you can make something cool to resonate with the viewer, I don't think we are there. And frankly, I don't think it will be easy to get there, because that is a reflection of personality of each person. And that's a little bit hard to get because everybody is different. It's not like the five fingers in Midjourney, which they said, well, it's difficult to find five fingers because the hand can be like this, like this, like this, like this. So the computer have a lot of errors, because the hand could be only with two fingers if you look like this. And they try to define what a hand is actually, and after that they become better. I think that is going to happen with the movie industry as well. I know
a thing that I'm looking forward to is Google's VO2.
Yes, which is free.
Because of the sense of dynamics in terms of how things interact, and the use of gravity, and how smoke and water move, and even their little demo of cutting into a tomato was remarkable. But James, back to you. I know you're involved with a couple different companies. Pimento is one of them. Tell us what you're doing with these companies.
Um, mostly creating content with them for LinkedIn. So whilst I haven't got around to doing all of them yet, so like with Pimento, we went through their features. So let me just see. I'm just trying to remember what was on their platform. So character generation was really good because they're using Flux, and apparently Flux is leading ahead is ahead of Midjourney as far as like which output people preferred. I think Proton from Luma, I think think it's Luma Dream Machine. That the same company, they do something called Photon, and that one apparently, according to them, was the best model. But let's see. I mean, Midjourney 7 point something is out soon, so. So the stuff with Pimento, the character recreation was really good. It looked like I can't remember what the name is of the lady that was doing the demo with me, but she did some example photos from her of her, and I'm on video like looking at the examples and seeing her face, change and turn and stuff like that. And in the still images that they created, they were really good. With Nim, most of the platforms are just giving you just free credits, basically. So with Nim, I think they have a video model that I tried, which is called Honey One. I think it's that model, and it's okay. I think they will probably have a much better model probably within a few months, and then I think a lot of companies are going to have more video models, and I think more video models are going to come out. And I think this is a little bit like the search engine situation that we had in like the late 90s, where at first Google wasn't, they weren't top dog, and there was lots of other search engines. So I think what might happen is there'll be one that survives out of all of them. But it's difficult to tell because this whole AI industry just goes in directions that you never saw coming. So yeah. I signed up to another one today, which is called Raspberry Pi. They contacted me actually, but I've only just got around to doing the paperwork on a lot of these companies on LinkedIn. Showing the position change just recently. So I've been going through my email account looking for ambassador program or creative partner program. The same thing with Raspberry. That I still need to learn a little bit more about the platform. But it's an AI image generation thing, and there's more stuff. But I don't always get time to use all the free credits that you get with all the platforms, because when you're doing social media and then you're doing all your regular work as well, there's only so much time you can spend. And also, you're still testing out, you're still perfecting your art in things like Midjourney, Runway, Kling, Minimax, all these video models. I've sent some of my images to Christina Ardeland because she's got access to Sora, and I'm really, really blown away. And I wasn't blown away as much as I thought I was going to be with Sora Video, because of all the handpicked, cherry-picked stuff that's OpenAI put out. Obviously, that's the best stuff. So I think it's just going to take a while to get up to the standard of the cherry-picked videos that OpenAI have showcased. But generally, really still surprised that you can just create video from images. It's still setting in, I guess you could say. Yeah.
I heard Sora is very heavy on hardware. Did she share some technical parts of Sora?
So I think it's for a 5-second clip. I think it was taking maybe a minute. And then, so there's a credit system. So for anyone that's in Europe and doesn't know about this, because we're not allowed it yet because of the AI Act of Europe. So as you change your settings, so going from 5 seconds to 1080p, 720/480, and then you also get the option of doing 1 or 2 videos. Obviously, it's going to eat through your credits differently. But if you spend, I think, $200 a month, you're getting like unlimited Sora videos all throughout the month, but you're only allowed to queue up 2 at a time. So I think I could work out an automation to get it to just run just 24/7. Although I think running it 24/7 might they might detect that and shut the account down. But there'll be ways of using Sora almost unlimited for a month, I'm sure. Yeah.
I know there are some tricks. I know some people told me you can play with the VPN. Like if you go in China, you cannot have YouTube, but
that's right. Yeah.
right. So that kind of stuff, and that's I was just curious. I know about Europe. I'm in Europe right now, of course. It's all about the AI Act. I guess the guys from OpenAI, they thought, let's not play with that. We don't want to pay a few millions on whatever copyright infringement or whatever. But I know the results are super cool. I agree with that. I could recognize, I saw some testing as well, and I could recognize also from where that reference came. So, and I guess maybe Sora is very sensitive in the sense that it's very close to their sources. And, if you saw a movie like, anyway, very famous movies where you can easily pick it up. Okay, it's from Blade Runner. I will say, it's from Blade Runner, or it's for the Vikings. And the other thing which I noticed, Sora is inspiring from video games as well. So, like God of Wars, you could see sequences from there. So I'm not sure how they mix the thing, in the sense that a video, it's a video, doesn't matter. Yeah, it was not a Hollywood production, but it was in a very famous game.
Yeah,
Game,
that's right about the game thing,
the
actually.
gamers will recognize it right
Yeah.
away, even if I'm in the
Yeah.
generation of the
Yeah,
movies.
because
Right?
a lot of the footage there's some scenes where there's like a jeep going through a jungle, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that was one of the demos from I can't remember. It's not Unity, it's the other one. What's the other
Unreal.
one?
Unreal.
Yeah, Unreal. Yeah. One of the demos was a jeep going through a jungle, and it looks really similar to that. It looks very like third person as well.
Well,
Yeah.
on the game engines, again, we are going toward the 3D worlds, because both of them, Unreal and Unity, they are free. They are game engines, and even more, if you are in the 3D world, you don't need to bug your mind too much with texture and stuff like that. You have different way to do it. Obviously, you can start from an image, it give you directly the texture, but the mesh of the elements is not there. You're still pioneering. You need to tweak it, but you can do a 3D model. Yes, I realize I did my robots, for instance. I took it, I made it in 3D, and after that I refine it with plasticity. It's fast. And I know people in the gaming industry. Prime example is Juicy. He made a game using images from Midjourney. He created the character, he converted in a 3D, and after that he spent some time to refine that element, the character itself, and after that he made a 3D game. And that it was more like an adventure game. A guy with horns goes in a hotel room, goes find some things, and after that goes in a station, and it's a free, the game is free demo. Probably I'll post it in the event. He launched it like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, but you can still play the first level for free, and you can see that how fast it is, because he said, yeah, AI helped me out. I create a lot of things with AI really fast. I just play with Midjourney. I got some spaceships, and after that I quickly made it in a 3D. I didn't need it to be very defined elements, so it was rough. It's perfect because they were in the background anyway, and animated in Blender, and boom, he's got the sequence, and he created a level for a game. So that goes fast. Now, is that possible to train Sora? Of course it is, because any elements in the games could be a video, and I'm almost sure OpenAI right now has got access to pretty much everything. It doesn't matter if it's a movie, it doesn't matter if it's a game, it doesn't matter if it's a text, and obviously ChatGPT has eyes as well, so basically recognize images, elements in an image, and stuff like that. So therefore, the funnel which feeds the platform can have any kind of input, from sound to text to ideas to uh, tags and metadata and so on. So for somebody who's got experience in a certain field, like if you see something which is coming from a movie, you kind of recognize a movie is famous for a sequence, and if if the algorithm pick that sequence, people will kind of pick it out right away. Hey, it looks like that
Sandu,
movie.
we've got a couple people in the comments that are mentioning that they're working with Sora. Arthur and Meg Ball, I'd like to get both of you to join in on the conversation and tell
Yeah, I'd like to hear as well, actually. Yeah.
tell us about your experiences with Sora.
Come on to the
Hi,
stage.
everyone. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Hi, Meg.
It's good to see
Oh, yeah, we
everybody.
could hear you.
Um,
Hi.
yeah, no,
Hi.
I've been testing Sora. I think for me, I think the only the most powerful feature right now in the platform is the fact that you can do blend and remix. There are no other tools that really give you the opportunity to really play with those features. I mean, obviously we have, keyframes and runway and cling, and Luma. But I think what's really incredible is that you can build an entire storyboard within one concept. So you could even pull your own imagery in there and then add in text to basically describe what you're going for in terms of your transitions, things like that. The only thing that I found, and I don't know if anybody else can speak to this, but I think there is a little bit of a graininess to the images when they are animated.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Yeah, I noticed
So
like a grid pattern sometimes, right? I don't know
correct.
when that happens because I've not been.
Oh, you just muted. But
Yeah,
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 like
carry
when
on.
you're
Yeah.
using your own imagery, it tends to get a little grainy, and it's really, really difficult to master. So, for example, when you are blending frames, you actually can change the formation of how you want it to blend within each video. So there's transition points that you can mark. It's really wild to me. I think it's going to take time for everyone to really get it and understand how this works. But I'm hoping to get a tutorial out at some point. But it's definitely not a perfect science at this point. So, but it's exciting.
How's your competition going? You know, the pink. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh,
Pink something.
yes. I don't know who participated here, but thank you for doing that. Spirits on the call as well. We had an overwhelming response to our Wrapped in Pink contest. We're excited to give out the amazing 9 prizes to everyone. So we're going to be
That is a lot of work getting those prizes, right?
I mean, the crazy part is that, all of us here on this call are spending so much money on AI right now. So we wanted to give back to everybody who's been sharing information with us, has been, doing the same thing that we're doing, right? So we really, Spirit really hustled to get, partners with all of these platforms. And so it's been really amazing to connect with them and hear their excitement about us, really getting this out there and getting people excited to play around in what they're working on. So yeah, we should have that wrapped up probably in the next couple of weeks. So
I started making a list yesterday of my subscriptions, and I've counted up to 11 so far, and I canceled one of them, but I don't think my list is complete yet. But I'm just looking at how much money am I spending a month on all these different things, and so it's a reality. Back to Sora. Arthur, can you join in on the conversation, please?
Everyone, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hey, Arthur.
A lot of what I was about to say, Meg just anticipated because I have similar experiences. And I think the only part of the different is that I'm using Sora to enhance a video, just like the runway video to video has this option. In Twitter, I was seeing some people trying to use the same purpose with Sora, and I think it's quite interesting because it takes a step further than runway. For example, I have an image and I put it into Vigo. I'm for example a dancer, and then after I got all the movements, I put it into runway or to Sora. And for right now, Sora is giving me the best enhanced results. I think this is one will be the only difference that I've been trying to do because the otherwise is exactly the same as Meg stated earlier.
Okay, great. Well,
I have a question.
sure.
Because I don't have access to Sora, and I'm doing a lot of videos from some projects commercially. And do you know if Sora already grant you the possibility to use the videos you produce there in a commercial way?
I can't answer that.
Yeah, I think Meg would be
Neither
the
can
best
I.
answer.
Okay.
Not in Europe, Margarita.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
So that's the reason probably they didn't release it in Europe as well. Obviously, there are concerns, like copyrights and stuff like that. From what I know, you can use Sora. I know there are some advertising elements and stuff like that done with Sora, and they are actually commercial. But again, what's the effect of that? I do not know. If somebody comes back and say, "Oh, that looks like," and I mean, they try to avoid those kind of things. That's what I think. However, creativity-wise, if you can use Sora to train it with your elements and prove it that it's done by yours and using your art or IP or whatever, I think that will be solved. And I know a lot of platforms, they try to customize, they try to do that, the customization. And we talk about Pimento, and it's actually exactly what they try to do. So therefore, hey, whatever we use, it's yours anyway. Because at the end, yes, you can have rights on it. It's your work. You produce that. Same as Midjourney is saying, hey, it's your image, do whatever. But, if somebody else come and say it looks like somebody else, they kind of try to say, whoa, hold on a second. They step back a little bit. So,
I'm having a fun story with that because I'm training the models on Pimento to use them on Runway because I'm doing a work for a musician is well known, and when I use the inputs of the videos you already had, Runway was giving me like red flags. And so I'm talking with Runway because now I have an issue. I need to do work.
Yeah, yeah. You use it like an AI generated image as an original kind of. But
Yeah, I'm doing the reverse engineering.
Yeah, here is what happened in US. There were some famous videos done by Dole brothers. There were political ads, with Trump, with Kamala, like everything, funny stuff, super funny. And after that, everybody say, "Oh my God, how you guys can put this?" It was before the election. It's very sensitive, extremely sensitive. But they were really popular, especially on X, which they, X. So Elon doesn't care about that. So and those guys, they end up doing an advertising for the stock market here in US with that bull, and it was all AI. Everybody could recognize it was AI, and it was published in Times Square in New York. So it was obviously commercial. It was obviously for something which is related to the stock. It was obviously something which involved advertising, and it was fully done with AI. So it is possible. Now, what they use, probably not Sora. I'm almost sure they use something like Link, but it was a commercial work done, and it was also available, and it was also on big banners in New York City in the Times Square. Those are facts. so it's possible. It is possible. But again, the extent of this, what they do, what they use, I mean, they might have the permission to use the bull, making some pictures of the bull over there in the stock exchange and whatever else they use over there, and train the model to do that. But you could recognize right away it was done with AI.
Yeah.
I would like to open the floor up to anybody that would like to ask any questions of James, anything that we haven't covered. Anybody have questions for James they'd like to ask?
Anyone?
Yeah, I can ask. Did you already try the Google VO2?
No. I signed up for Access.
Yeah.
I just used the Google form, but that was only 2 weeks ago, and that was just as VO2 had just been released to the general public. So I don't know how long it's going to be. I think though, if you want early access, I think you have to have been invited like early on, and I didn't get an invite.
Yeah, it's the same here.
Actually, I do have a similar question, James. Did you try those elements which includes the 3D? For instance, lately in late 2024, Fenetra is a platform which I tested and is using as a reference a 3D model, and another one is Janus, which with Han from Korea. Actually, he gave me the platform, and at the end of December, I even presented it. Actually, probably next week I'll ask if he's available, and I'll do a presentation how to use it. But basically, instead of using 2D images to render images, you can use a 3D model, and from there you can create images which you can later use it as keyframes and so on.
Well, I'll tell you how I've mixed 3D with Runway. So like I took the AI mode logo, just the A and the I, and I just in Blender gave it a bit of bokeh in the background, so when it rotates, it's the same thing each time, and there's a little bit of creativity there. It was just black and white with one light, and then I took that into Runway and I drag your video in, and then you just type anything you want, and it was amazing. I mean, it's the technique I don't see used much. People aren't using 3D much with Runway because I think the majority of the people that come to the AI community, a big chunk of them haven't done like anything creative before, like with 3D and stuff like that. So I think we'll start seeing more like integration between like 3D applications and Runway, and I think people will be using this technique much more often. So it won't just be me that does it.
Like a 3D
so
reference for video, 3D reference to create video, right?
Because someone came to me and they said they wanted a logo of like, that their logo comes down like that and does that. Could you give us a few examples of that? And the immediate thought you have is, I'll see if I can do it in Runway, and maybe there is a way of replicating this each time. But I found the best way to have control in a commercial setting where it's just the logo and branding was to do it in Blender first, render it, and then take the video into Runway and then do stuff like that. Just before we go on, so someone was asking earlier about commercial use for what do you call it, Sora. Toys R Us have done it. Someone said it in the comments. That's the only reason why I've found this video. So this is can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think this came out within the last month, I think. So I guess the answer to that question is yes, I think. But I guess it depends on which part, the region of the world you're in, because like maybe Toys R Us in America can do it over there because they've got access to Sora. But if Toys R Us did it in the UK, which I don't think they've done yet, because this looks like an American ad, but they might have problems. So yeah, I don't know. I am speaking to someone soon that might answer these questions. I can't remember what her name is, but she has a legal background and she's specializing in AI legal issues. She's from the UK, so she might have some answers. I don't know.
I think this was part of I was asking about the commercial use, but I think this one of Toys R Us was part of the campaign they did on marketing about Sora. So it was like a collab they made with Toys R Us to show the potential of what Sora could bring us. But my question is like, for us, can we actually create and use in a short run this kind of tool like Sora to commercial use? Because
I don't know. Yeah, it's a difficult one. I think like I don't do this much, and I do hear people talking about how the regulations in America are changing, and some of them it's state by state. But I'm really well out of my depth with this particular part of the subject. So yeah, it's difficult to tell. You just have to keep an eye on what changes with the regulations. But I haven't found an easy way to do this. I think it's just Googling all the time. Yeah.
Will be solved in time. We know will be solved, and then it always will be a solution. The question is how much time it's going to take. I know there are a bunch of lawsuits over there, and some of them they are answering in the benefit of AI, some of the arts and the benefits of the artists. I mean, it's not a clear answer until it reached the Supreme Court. Can be left or right all the time. So we'll see. That will be
Yeah.
solved. At one time, will be a limit where we'll say, okay, we go toward that direction. And AI is producing so much material. I mean, you cannot stop it. The final, it's too much produced to try to catch up with the legislation, in my opinion. And after that becomes the norm. People already adapted to AI. I mean, it's very rarely you find a person saying, no, I'm doing everything and I'm not using AI at all. And when I'm heard somebody saying I'm not using AI at all, I'm thinking, okay, maybe you're right. I'm not sure where you're living. I hope you still have internet, but like it's very hard to say somebody's not using AI. I mean, it's the entire technology. It was adapted worldwide, and again, there are two worlds. I always need to talk about that too, because what's happened in Asia, it's beyond. We see only a tiny part of it. We saw Kling, we saw products coming from there, but as I said, if you are looking from the opposite side, people in China do not have YouTube. First of all, they cannot see YouTube. They have something else, obviously. So there are two parallel things which run kind of as it was in the 50s, the race to go to the moon or go to space, and the Russians were the first one with the Soyuz, and after that was Yuri Gagarin, and Americans were the first on the moon. Maybe we are on Mars, nobody knows, but it's not advertised. But I guess Elon will send something over there for sure.
Yeah, well, when he gets round to it, he always says things like, "By 2019, we'll be on Mars. By 2025, we'll have a city." Where is all this stuff?
I think he's got all the cards by 2028 to do something amazing. But the thing is, it is a race. That's my point. It is a race. Some people will not see it, and everybody knows AI is the spear. The tip of the spear. From let's say reach and financials, it is in the US side. I know the biggest money are invested here is not only OpenAI, they are supported by Microsoft. $100 billion lottery over there. I'm not sure how should I call it, but let's say experience. But ton of money is put into that, and on the other side, they kind of do the same, but they do not have the financial. However, if we are looking to the results and the products, there are some products coming from them. Kling is one example on the video side, but
the biggest issues that I've had to deal with have been from lawyers from different companies that I've been training, and like they don't want you to use anything except Firefly or Getty.
Yeah, I've seen that in
create
contracts
images.
actually.
But Getty is ridiculously expensive. And
but Miguel, you use Getty before. Do you feel that you need to use Getty? To me, I think they are on a suicide mission right now because people will say, you know what, I'm not using it.
no, you don't need Getty, and you don't need to pay those kind of prices because you can do this with Firefly. You can do it with Shutterstock. There's different programs that are using their stock images as their base, for creating their images. The problem is, as far as I'm concerned, is they're really good if what you're looking to do is to produce a stock image. I mean, if you're looking for something creative, you're not going to get it like you're going to get it with Midjourney or some of these Flex programs. So,
but why you need a stock image when you create it with AI right away? I think it's faster actually to create one rather than find one which you think is good. But we do have a question. Meg is asking, James, is for you. Do you think we will have AI editing capabilities within the video platforms?
I do actually. I'm working on my own custom Python scripts, and they are chopping up dialogue. So that's how I've edited some of Expert Roundup. You can make music videos. So if you want to make a music video and you want it changing a video clip every 4 beats, you can set that up in Python. But the way I'm doing it is I'm writing the code in Claude, and then I'm writing the Python script. Then I'm letting it edit my videos basically. So it's very it's very janky. It doesn't always work well, but I think prompting things in like Adobe's like Premiere Pro and After Effects and DaVinci, I think all these companies will probably bring out their first products this year. So, and I think it will be voice controlled. It may be text. Probably text will be first, and then voice control later. But I definitely think you're going to be able to prompt things like, so for example, I can't remember what the company's called, Electric Sheep. They do a program. What's it? They've got a model that will select stuff on the screen. And I think a large language model integrated with something like that can work out there's a red car in the scene, there's a blonde haired woman over there talking about Midjourney. And I think you'll be able to say, can you move her to the right? Because if you can do all these things like in Kling and all these other programs, it's probably happening this year.
Yeah,
I really
have
hope so.
kind of this thing. Meg, you are thinking like me. Can you make a tutorial, James? We want to see it.
Oh, I mean, if you think about storyboarding,
wow.
right? I mean, listen,
Right.
like with storyboarding, and you want to, I mean, with all the edits that we make in life with clients, they're like, sorry, I wanted to rotate, 50 degrees instead of 360 or whatever. You have to basically start from scratch. You have to then build it again. There's just so many steps without the editing capabilities within the video platforms or in, like you're saying, Premiere Pro or DaVinci. So I'm really excited about that opportunity because I think that's really going to change things big time. Big time.
And also you can automate a lot of this too. So I'm working on a method now where I can do an expert roundup show and then have it edit it each episode completely on its own. So I'm there with one episode at a time, but it's not much more work to do everything in one go. So I think when I do my next show, I'll probably try and edit it all in AI because it's so time consuming. It's so time saving. I probably save like 90% of the time. I mean, I know there's websites that do this as well, but this is just something done in Python. So it's easy because I'm only amateur at coding. So you can imagine what Adobe and Blackmagic have got planned.
Yeah, I think in overall the picture, I think also you need to kind of set up the video prior to make them, think how to do them to be easier by the AI to mix them together. I do have a lot of friends which are doing kind of like traveling videos, vlogs on YouTube, and they have the same thing. You end up having snippets and they have like 30, 40 videos done. Okay, for that city, I found this history and I found this nightlife and this, I don't know, restaurants, and they want to mix them up. And most of their time it's editing. And editing, you are on the video side, it takes hours and hours and hours. And they realize like, oh my God, I lost the time I supposed to go and do a video on that restaurant, and after that they came back, I don't have time to editing, and takes time. Plus YouTube right now is putting a lot of regulations, and you need to pay attention how to do the video in the sense that, music stop or not, they might reject it because it's a music on the background or stuff like that. So prior to do the video, they were thinking a lot what has to be in that movie, and I need to pay attention. Otherwise, even if I'm trying to do that with AI, it might not do it right because there are other things over there which throw the AI platform off tracks a little bit. So, yeah.
Yeah. Maria was asking which is the best website for creating music videos. Like Big Al's made a comment about CapCut. That another big TikTok account that uses CapCut for doing automatic cuts where the beat is and going on to the next video, which is what I made in Python, which is why I'm saying all this technology is pretty easy. Even anyone in the call right now can make these things at home with Python using Claude or ChatGPT. Claude's better for coding over and above ChatGPT, right now I'm using Claude much more now than I did with ChatGPT because the coding's so much better with Claude. And I'm only going to ChatGPT when I run out of like my quota on Claude because you can still run out even if you pay for it. And they'll say you can use it at 4 p.m. or something. That's like 2 hours away. So when my I try not to use too much of my paid credits with Claude. If it's a simple question, I just go to ChatGPT because I'm like, well, it's going to handle that okay, and I go for the complicated stuff to Claude. Same thing with writing. I think it's a little bit better at writing. It sounds less like ChatGPT and it sounds more like a human. Yeah.
But I think Claude is made in France, right?
Oh no, that's Anthropic. I think they're American. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I think Mistral is the French one.
Yes, Mistral, correct.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you are referring to Mistral. Sorry.
We're just about out of time for the hour, but James, I don't know, are you at a point where you want to announce what you're planning on doing with
I didn't know if I was allowed because we haven't discussed it very much. Oh, okay, good. So you saw some of my mood boards there earlier. I'm going to start selling these. So I think I'll probably be ready to go this week sometime. So it'll be on Gumroad. Don't worry, you'll see it on LinkedIn. Trust me. So you can create
what
all the
I've
things I've
seen
done.
so far is you've got about what, 6 or 7 different groups of mood boards that you've put together so far?
It's I think it's like 16, maybe 17. I can't remember. But
Okay.
I do have loads more, but at some point I just had to say, okay, like that's enough mood board stuff for the moment. But I've got like another 10 that'll be in the next batch of mood boards. Yeah.
Okay, and you're gonna announce when you're ready to sell those.
Yeah, because I've got a few problems with the product at the moment. It doesn't look properly. It doesn't look right on other people's machines. I've sent you a copy, but I don't know if the HTML thing works properly. So I'm still working on that. I think I've sorted it now.
Well, I'm delighted with
What?
this. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just going to ask James, what kind of, how do you sell them? Is it like posters or what is it?
Okay, so yeah, I should explain this bit because it's not clear. So with mood boards in Midjourney, you create them by adding images, and then when you've done, you get a code number, and then you put that on the back of your text prompt, and then you just press enter, and then it gives you the style of all the images that are in the mood board. And I would say this is like a minor update for Midjourney, but I think it's really powerful, even because
Wow,
yeah, over and
that's super
above, like
cool. Okay.
yeah, it's really cool. And I feel when I started using mood boards, which is only like I don't know, like a couple of weeks ago,
Right.
I was like, this feels like using Midjourney again for the first time because of the level of creativity and innovation you get with the images that you're making. And yeah, with every new feature like cref, sref, and all these things, it's always an improvement on what they've already got there. It might not feel that different because it feels like, oh, I'm just grabbing images like with image prompting. But when you do the final images, I feel like it's like a different sort of algorithm because I definitely haven't seen images by me like that before.
All righty. Well, Sandu, I think it's about time for us to wrap this up. I just want to mention that we will have this month episodes 97, 98, 99, and come the 31st, the 100th big celebration. So
Yes.
and James, I'm delighted you joined us today. I hope you'll join us on the 100th as well.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been fun. I might do the 100th one. Ooh.
Yeah, well, it's a neat milestone, and
Yeah, congratulations. It's a lot of
Well,
work.
we should mention actually, this was not started by me or Big Al. It was started by
yeah,
Kirsten Tippett and
Kristen
yeah,
Tippett and John Porter started
right.
started it, and then when John was changing directions for his going to school to become a teacher, he had to step out of it, and so they asked for people to volunteer to carry it on. And there was 4 or 5 people that offered to do that at the beginning, and Sandu and I are the ones that have stuck in there doing it.
But yeah, Liliana was here, Robin was here, Glenn was here. Obviously, people in the audience join us from time to time.
Yeah, we have a number of people that are in our group still that are part of it, and they get informed about everything and can contribute to the thing. But running it is pretty much Sandu and I, and preparing the pages for announcing the events. So it's fun, and like I think that we've got a pretty consistent group of people who join us, and I think we're offering something that people are benefiting from. So I'm very glad that we're still doing this, and again, everybody, let's keep in mind, the Fridays for the rest of this month and beyond. So, Sandu, any last words?
No, I think it's awesome. Again, share the news. It's super cool. It is a small community, but it becomes large. I'm almost sure the information which we share here, it's always good for anybody. If you are a beginner, if you are in mid part with even experts, if you, I'm not considering myself an expert, but again, we learn all the time. So let's keep the ball rolling, as they said in sports, and let's find new things. And for next event, feel free to post in the comments if you like to have any specific topic. Always will touch on news. Always will touch on things which are related to AI. Now, with this AI Act in Europe and SORA not being available in Europe, we can touch on that as well. But to me, as I said, I do see the dynamics, especially geopolitically, because I kind of jump to US, to Europe. Sometimes I have friends in Asia as well. They told me what's happened over there. I know what's happened in US, and they are, to me, it's like as it was the conquering the space back in 50s and 60s. This is where we are right now with AI, and any parts come with really cool stuff. Every day it's something new. Every day it's something exciting, and we are living revolutionary times. It's
totally. It's really exciting. I can't wait to see what happens in 25.
Yes, every day it's something cool. Every day I'm watching. What's new? What's different? I'm not watching the news, and I'm watching to the AI stuff, right?
Is AI the first thing you look at in the morning when you open your phone? That's what
I'm not using ChatGPT. I'm not using. I still do it manually. My wife said, "Hey, use AI. You don't use a chatbot to keep you up to date." I said, "Well, it's like, I still want the human side. I want, I want to be informed. That's the only thing." So,
well, once again, this is being recorded. I'm going to stop the recording soon. But thank you, everybody, for showing up. And James, once again, really appreciate you joining us today. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
See you next Friday, guys.
Okay. All right. See you later, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All the best. Bye.